Hey guys, this is the third of 6 capsules on the intellectual operations for the secondary history course. And in this one, we take a look at the determine cause and consequence IO. So we start here as usual. We're not going to go through this because we saw it in capsule number 1. But just as a reminder, we're looking at cause and consequence here. So a broad view of this IO. These questions will usually ask for a direct cause or consequence of some historical event. It's pretty straightforward. It may also ask for multiple causes or consequences, grouping them by political, social, economic, territorial aspects to make it a little bit more difficult. So here is a development guide for the causes and consequence IO. So we have a beginner, intermediate, and advanced example of each, and we're using Canadian Confederation as the case study. So if we zoom in on the beginner aspect of this question, it'll just, again, ask you for a cause or consequence. So in this case, a document might be the Great Coalition, and students will give you an answer such as Canadian Confederation was a consequence of the Great Coalition between Brown, Macdonald, and Cartier. So it's really just A leads to B type of scenario. Making a little bit more difficult, we look at the intermediate version of this question. Again, Canadian Confederation. So in this case, we're categorizing causes and consequences. Okay, so in this particular question, you might ask for a political consequence and a territorial consequence of Canadian Confederation. And the documents will point you towards the creation of the House of Commons as a political consequence and the union of the first 4 provinces as a territorial consequence. So again, it's really just cause and consequence in its base, but students will also have to then be more specific about what kind of cause or consequence. Here's an advanced look at what this IO can be. They might ask to determine differing causes and consequences of one historical event on different social groups. So in this case, we see the effect of Confederation on new colonists in Canada in the late 1800s versus on the Métis in Western Canada. And students will say something along the lines of, after Confederation, westward expansion meant more land for colonists, but meant lost land for the Métis. So again, one historical event, 2 different consequences on 2 different groups, and in this case, the consequences are different. One is positive and one is negative. So this is your development guide for the determine cause and consequence IO. Hope that was helpful, and check out the next one.